Clerk, please call the roll for November 13th, 2012.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Cholokian.
Here.
Councilmember Grandinetti. Here. Councilmember Walker.
Here.
Chairman Frischon.
Here.
All present.
Please rise for the council prayer and the pledge of allegiance by Councilman Anderson.
O God, the Father of us all, we humbly beseech thee in thy wisdom and knowledge to guide and direct the deliberations of this council along the path of truth, justice, and righteousness, so that what it decides for the welfare of our citizens may also redound to thy greater honor and glory. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this evening we'll begin with speakers for the public hearing relative to the adoption of the mayor's proposed 2013 executive budget.
Frank Croysdale.
My name is Frank Croysdale. My address is 350 North 3rd Street, Lewiston. And first and foremost, I want to thank every member of the council for having this meeting tonight and listening to the public's concerns. And I've come here tonight to speak on behalf of the Niagara Falls Public Library. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I'd like to say that I am in a long-term and committed relationship with the director of the library, Michelle Petrozzullo. Having said that, I would then like to tell you that I have an even longer committed and loving relationship with the City of Niagara Falls in general and the Earl W. Bridges and LaSalle Branch Library in particular. And I know that all of you are struggling with the budget. You're struggling with the issues that are put in front of you. You're struggling with this new offer from the Power Authority and how to best proceed with that. And I don't envy any of you. I know what a difficult task has been laid upon you. And I also know that you're all in a difficult position because all of this has come to pass because of something playing out in Albany, between Albany and the Seneca Nation, that has left us all dangling in the wind, victims to it, and waiting how to come out on the other side. I come here to speak to you of the library, however, because in the mayor's budget there was a significant cut to the library. And should that cut be allowed to pass unchallenged, it will have a dramatic impact on the library's ability to offer its proper services to the citizenry of this city. Now, I'm the founder and president of an organization called Niagara Rises, and our grassroots organization, which has grown into a not-for-profit, is challenged with the task of helping this city help itself by combating poverty and juvenile delinquency. And for the past year, we've been proud sponsors of the Technology Center at the Library for Teens. And in that work, I've been able to see firsthand the incredible impact our library is making on the youth of this city and helping position them for their future lives, and hopefully also positioning them to remain members of our community and help combat this population bleed that we've been dealing with for many, many decades. I'd like to submit to you tonight signatures here from over 900 individuals, voters that signed at the library during the election this past week and also throughout the continued week, all asking that the library's funding be restored. And I'm going to bring that up and put that to you now. Thank you so much. And I would like to tell you that, I sat at the table on election night. I saw people come in and they saw the table that we had there, and they came over to us. And throughout the evening, and this sentiment went across socioeconomic lines, gender lines, ethnic lines, race lines, age lines. People came up, and when they recognized what we were there for, the first statement out of their mouths so many times was, "I love this library. I grew up in this library. This library is crucial to me and my involvement in this community." And what I wanted to let you know this evening is that, I've got a ton of stats here, and I'm not going to quote them, but, basically, there has been study after study after study that shows that a fully functioning library in a community dramatically impacts the education levels of the people, the crime, the property values of the homes all around it. It's part and parcel to so many things. And I truly believe that when you're struggling with this very difficult decision that you are, that it's crucial that you understand the import that the library plays in this community. For 117 years, the Niagara Falls Public Library has been part of the city charter, and it's been fully funded by the city of Niagara Falls, at least its share to it. Don't let it be the legacy of today's government that this is when we cut it. And I want to ask, as the final thing that I'll say to you tonight, I want to ask 3 people to stand up if they will. I'd like to ask Michelle Renat to stand up, Carly Spitar to stand up, and Jillian Onesi to stand up. Now, these are 3 employees at the library. Jillian is the administrative assistant, Michelle is the teen librarian, and Carly is the librarian in waiting. They're indicative and representative of the many people that work there, but I've been able to work with these people over the past year through Niagara Rises, and I see the dedication and the passion that they bring every day to the people of our community. And I will tell you that the reason that I chose these 3 to stand was not only to laud them for the work that they do, but to tell you that if this budget cut is allowed to go unchecked, we'll say goodbye more than likely to these people. And they'll be lost to our community and to our future. And so I implore you, ladies and gentlemen of this council, to, with or without the power authority money, to find a way to make sure that our library stays fully funded for the betterment of our community, because I really believe that it works part and parcel and hand in hand with the future that we're trying to build, to retaining people here. And I know that all of you entered into public office with altruism in your hearts, and I know that all of you love and support this library, and I will trust in your great and good abilities to find a way to see this done. And I thank you so much for listening to me tonight. Thank you.
Faith Kyle, Riley Marchand, and Olivia Adams.
Hi, my name is Faith Kyle, and I've been at the teen program at Niagara Falls Public Library for a very long time now. And it has incredible workers like Mo and Miss Carly. And we've just had some very much fun, like doing our arts and crafts and our computer design programs and everything else like that. I believe that the city should not be taking away from the teenagers that come to our city to participate in this program, because it means a lot to the children and teenagers that come to the library. So we should not be like taking it away from the teenagers who love the library.
My name is Elizabeth Blow, and I think you shouldn't cut the library because lots of kids like the library. And even though there is public school libraries, well, sometimes not all the school libraries offer enough information for kids to do their reports and everything. So I don't think you should cut the library for that reason. And there's other reasons where people are going to get laid off and everything if you cut the library. So I think you shouldn't cut the library at all.
Hello, my name is Rima Shanky, and I have been doing team programs since they first started in January 2012. Ms. Michelle has helped me all along, and we managed to use the old gift shop space for our meeting room and completed a digital project over the summer with many teens in Niagara Falls. Ms. Carly came in May and helped us with the crafts. She helped us make the signs and get here tonight. Teens in Niagara Falls walk by the Teen Club, come in and ask to join. If you cut the library, no one can learn about
library like a lot. Like whenever, like we always go and we check out a whole bunch of books, and it's a whole lot of fun. And I belong to the library for a long time now, and honestly, it's helped me with like a science project I recently did with my friend Callie Dolan, who also found out that she actually really likes the library, and like she's never realized that until recently when I was late, and then she had to like start looking around so that she wouldn't get bored, and she actually had a lot of fun. So, you shouldn't cut the library. Thank you.
Ron Anderson.
How do you follow that? Well, first thing, Michelle's doing a great job at the library there. And one of the things is, I just hope you can find money to keep that library the way it's been going. And she's got some very innovative programs going there. And whatever you can do to help her, because that's one of the last places we should be cutting. It's in our libraries.
Really quickly, I truly believe that any appointments or exempt employees for the city should be looking at least a pay freeze, if not a pay cut. I think that we should not raise taxes. I think what we ought to do is look at every department and everybody have a little bit of pain. If it means one person from every department, right? So that the library doesn't bear the brunt of our problems. So they face as much pain as everybody else does.
So I'm asking you today, as a resident and a homeowner, and as your friends, to please consider getting that budget back into line, because you can cut the budget to the point where you don't have to lay off city employees. They won't lose their jobs, they won't lose their homes, and they won't lose their families. Thank you.
And this is not a threat at all. Please don't take it as a threat, but just the feelings of an elderly, passionate, experienced board member. Please, please, don't mess with the library, because the library services have to be continued. And nobody wins when the library gets kicked around. You see it around the entire Western New York community. The libraries can't afford to get kicked around. And they do get kicked around, not only in Niagara Falls because of financial challenges, but throughout the whole country. Libraries are changing, but they're changing because of lots of reasons also. But we cannot afford to continue to kick the library around. Our community is depending on you to use good common sense as you address the budget tonight, or when you address the budget. So I can only close and say, on behalf of all the caring and learning community, that I, for one, I'm sure everybody here, thank you for making the Niagara Falls Public Library one of your personal priorities.
My name is Paul Bernosiak. I live at 5819 Brow Road in the town of Niagara. Ever since I was a boy, I've been going to the library here in Niagara Falls, the old Carnegie and now the Pearl Bridges, and it has been a very important part of my life. It's there where I learned to love the history of this place, and there where I've spent countless hours learning about it. And our history will become more important in the future when Niagara Falls becomes more of a tourist attraction, because visitors want to know what makes us special. A country can't be considered civilized unless it has a repository of its past, easily accessible to people. This library is run by more than competent people. I've never known one person there that I couldn't trust. They're helpful, kind, very understanding, especially now that I'm getting older. And I just can't say enough. Now, I know I don't live in the city, but I would be willing, as I think many non-residents would be, to pay a fee to use the library, especially local history. I see nothing wrong with that. And so maybe you can consider something like that. The first time I went to the Buffalo and Erie County Historical Society many years ago, I was shocked to discover I had to pay a fee to go into their library. And I'm thinking to myself, well, why not? It's a special place, requiring special people to take care of it. And Lord knows we've had plenty of special people in local history through the years. And today, especially by herself most of the time, where is Linda? Linda, what would we do without you in local history? You know, the library is important to make a place civilized. It must have the best possible source for information. This library is up to date. It's got the computers for people who are so inclined. As Michelle can tell you, I'm not inclined in that direction. I still prefer books and paper in my hands. And I think I'll just live out the rest of my days that way. The rest of you can enjoy the machinery. But this place is so special. It makes the city classy. And if I were a visitor and went into that library, I'd say, wow, they know what they're doing. So please, whatever you can do, try to forestall any changes there. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Rob Nichols, and today I'm representing Assemblyman John Soretto that wishes he could be here, but was called back to Albany to work on Sandy relief, the hurricane that devastated our state. Quick personal note on that: the Assemblyman also sends his thanks to everyone in the community that has dropped off goods at our office location. Our front office is overflowing with goods for the victims of Sandy. The Assemblyman asked me to come down here today for the very same reason that a lot of folks have spoken, and that is to restore the funding for the public library. I've submitted a letter to the clerk, but I will summarize. We've received many, many calls to our office. People have stopped the Assemblyman practically the day that the mayor announced that the drastic cut. So personally, I would say reject that and restore the funding to the public library. On a personal note, I enjoyed, as did Paul Mosiak, growing up in the library. I attended the LaSalle Library, as some of you might have, as also. And you can see by that our youth here today, that the brightest and the best children grow up in the library. They actually do. That's where they come of age, in that library. And that is very important for our community. In closing, again, just want to make sure that you guys understand that and have a good evening.
The city here has, within government, major departments. They have engineering, they have a law department. Why does the mayor feel he needs consultants in all these big projects to oversee the work of these companies when we have our own in-house people? If they're not qualified, get them out. I don't like to see, I get a strong feeling that many of these department heads are on a friendly basis with, I guess, the mayor. And those jobs should not be handled in that manner. It should be only a very well-qualified person who is willing to put out for the city and its residents, not out of friendship. They get a good buck, and I get sick to see that we have to pay another engineer to do what our engineers in this city have to do. So we're double paying, and we're paying that consultant more than we're paying the city guy. See, I'm starting to ramble. I'm just fed up. I want you to spend my dollars like I would spend them. I'm a penny pincher. When I buy something, I want to get what I paid for. And I'm not about to buy things that I wish for until I have the cash in my hand. And I want you to treat our budget that same way. Get the money first, then spend it. Thank you very much.
Joe Schwartz, 1319 Willow Avenue. And I just have to say, I never thought I'd be playing follow-up act to my cousin Faith Kyle, and I think all the young people who spoke tonight deserve another round of applause. You know, I'm here tonight as a concerned citizen on behalf of thousands of other concerned citizens and taxpayers of the city, residents and businesses alike, to speak about the dire straits of the budget that all of you guys are working on. Year after year, all of you, with the exception of taxpayer advocate and newcomer Councilman Glenn Shalokian, have voted on bloated budgets that included millions of dollars of casino cash revenue and spent it in ways that was never meant to be spent on. That money in the casino compact was meant for economic development, not for day-to-day operation. I ask you now, what quantifiable economic development has come from the misuse of these casino funds? Had they been put to use as they were intended, we would not be facing a disaster budget. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and every single one of you is going to have to make those desperate cuts. This budget is going to require everybody to share the pain. And unfortunately, this budget places all of the pain in an 8.3% tax cut on every single homeowner in the city, and that is not right. And to think that we could use $13 million of the $37 million that we're owed to by NYPA to close this budget gap in a one-time shot and create an $850,000 budget deficit every year from here on out is absolutely irresponsible. And to every council member who would even consider voting for that deal, I want to remind you that you should be and will be held accountable at the polling place. In addition to voting no on this deal, I am calling on all of the elected officials in this room, many of whom already get Cadillac benefits on the backs of the taxpayers, to set an example on behalf of the citizens and on our hard-working union members, and make that good faith effort to cut the waste out of the city budget and restore fiscal sanity to the city that so many of us know and love. It can start by every single one of you donating the entirety of your health care buyout, which for many of you amounts to nearly $10,000, right back to our library system and restoring the funding for that vital resource. In closing, I want to say enough with the overspending, enough with the high taxes, and enough with the lack of accountability. On behalf of the citizens of Niagara Falls, we've had enough, and it's time for a change. Thank you.
I don't even have a word for our proposed 2013 budget. I can't even, disaster it's way worse than a disaster. It's irresponsible. And I too agree, the mayor should be held accountable for 1 month overdue. He's got to play by the rules. Absolutely, he should be held responsible for that.